In 1984, James Cameron introduced us to The Terminator, a movie about a cybernetic android that is sent from the year 2029 to 1984 to assassinate a waitress, whose unborn son would lead humanity in a war against the machines. Her name is Sarah Connor, and a soldier from the war is sent to protect her at all costs. This was one of the greatest sci-fi stories that was made back in the 80s, and the concept all started off with a nightmare that James Cameron had, where he remembered being chased by a skeleton on fire, and it felt like the scariest feeling, being chased by something resembling a human skeleton that wouldn't die. When we see the Terminator in its endoskeleton form for the first time, it is next to a fire, which was something James Cameron wanted to add so he can share a glimpse of his nightmare to anyone watching the film. A very neat Easter egg. The Terminator film was a success, and fans couldn't wait for a sequel. Luckily, in 1991, we got it, including the same director, the main cast from the first film, and in this film we see that a Terminator T-800, identical to the one who failed to kill Sarah Connor in the first film, must now protect their teenage son, John Connor, from a more advanced and powerful cyborg, the T-1000. This Terminator is a mimetic polyalloy liquid metal shape changer. It just needs to touch something to mimic it, including people. It can impersonate people as well as morph its arms into blades. Now that Skynet failed to kill Sarah Connor, they targeted her son, John Connor, but with the help of his mother, who is now a brave, kick-ass woman, and the T-800, they put up a hell of a fight against the T-1000, and in the end, they managed to eliminate it and prevent it from killing the future leader of the Resistance. But most importantly, they prevented Judgment Day from occurring in their future. Of course, with the success of the first and second film, everybody wanted to see a third film. Problem was that the second film ended the story. There wasn't meant to be a third Terminator film, and James Cameron had no intentions of working on a third film. But with all the fans constantly demanding for a third film, then he did one last thing to please the fans. He came up with Terminator 2 3D Battle Across Time, an attraction at various Universal Studios theme parks where we would get the opportunity to experience the next part of the franchise for ourselves. In this attraction, we would see the main cast from Terminator 2 reprise their roles: Arnold Schwarzenegger as the T-800, Linda Hamilton as Sarah Connor, Edward Furlong as John Connor, and Robert Patrick as the T-1000. Now, before we take a look at T2 Battle Across Time, I gotta mention the things that us fans always wanted to see since the first time we were introduced to the Terminator. Ever since the first Terminator film, we got to see what the future would turn out to be like if Skynet took over the world. And it was marvelous. Not in a sadistic kind of way, just that the appearance of the war looked very shocking. And it was interesting to see just how things have changed and how scary it must be to live in that time. With Kyle Reese's flashbacks, we get a small glimpse of what he had to live through every day of his life. The machines have become highly advanced, and their weaponry is far beyond destructive, and just a single shot from their weapons can be enough to kill their targets, while the machines on the other hand can take so much damage and still keep going. We see that the HK aerials are large airborne jets that are extremely difficult to take down. They have wide mounted lasers, missiles, and plasma cannons, and the best way to take them down would be by using rockets or missiles. The beauty of Battle Across Time is that James Cameron literally gave the fans everything they wanted. We wanted to see the main cast from Terminator 2 return. They did. We wanted to see that the sequel would take place in the machine war from the future. It did.
Wow, where are we?
The future. The final battle between humans and machines.
Oh, great. I'd rate this rescue about a 2. Hey, no, I'm nuts!
Hold on!
Break it together!
We even got to see the T-800 protect John Connor from an HK aerial. We see the T-1000 in the future, 4 mini HK aerials, and an endoskeleton Terminator.
Stop whining. Are you okay? Hey, Buckethead!
But most importantly, we would see John Connor and the T-800 go up against Skynet itself. So there would literally be no more reasons to make another movie sequel, because Skynet from the future gets taken down for good.
Excellent.
Sure, I would love to have seen an entire movie dedicated to this attraction's concept, but we've had over 4 Terminator movies that followed up after Terminator 2, including a series, and none of them could pull it off. Terminator 3 Rise of the Machines was just a repeat of the second film. That sort of sucked because we had already seen that. Terminator 2 was basically the same concept of the first film, but with the Terminator helping out instead of a human. But they did an excellent job with it, and even though the movie wasn't centered around the machine war, we still got a kick-ass opening that gave us another well-length glimpse at the future machine war. The practical effects were amazing. It was even better than the glimpse we got from the first film. Everything about it was awesome. But here comes Terminator 3 just taking the same damn concept.
John Connor was here. Where is he?
Are you going to kill me? No. My mission is to protect you.
Adding another glimpse of the future, but this time it's not even worth watching, as it's just a neat shot of some Terminators with laser beams. Speaking of that scene, the movie poster was a major tease. They literally made the bottom half of the poster show us the machine war from the future. I mean, you see this with the subtitle being Rise of the Machines. Of course everyone would think that this movie was literally going to be the machine war that we've been teased with in the previous 2 films. But no, it was just a tease within a tease. Adult John Connor was just having a nightmare like his father Kyle Reese did in the first film. Only here it was just like a 10-second shot of a group of Terminators firing their lasers while one of them stares at the camera. What they really should have done was just show us that it was clearly going to be a dream John Connor was having. But that wouldn't be a cool looking poster now, would it? Terminator Salvation then came out like, back up Terminator 3, I got this. They want a war, we'll give them a war. And it was a shitty representation of the machine war. A lot of things did not make sense. I know this was supposed to be like the very beginning of the machine war, but it was a hell of a letdown. Nothing was memorable. I did not care for any of the characters, including John Connor. Maybe it's because every actor that's portrayed John Connor acts completely different from one another, so even though that John Connor was played by Christian Bale, I didn't find his character interesting, especially the other main character, Sam. Then we got Terminator Sega Genesis, and that was yet another rip-off of the first Terminator film. Only this time, they include more time-traveling bullshit. If you like Terminator 3, then you'll like this movie, I guess. Also, they did include a machine war from the future in this movie, but it made me regret wanting to see the machine war be made in this day and age. Because what else am I going to expect? Practical effects? Hell no. Even when the irony is that practical effects cost less, they still insist on using CGI. CGI will always get outdated over time, but practical effects? That was real. It's more intriguing to see something that's real over nothing. But anyways, the machine war in Terminator Genesis was a major disappointment. And to make it even worse, they actually beat Skynet. In the beginning of the movie, it wasn't even done in a believable way. If these were the same machines from the machine war portrayed in the first 2 films, they would have wiped the floors with human flesh. Oh yeah, and now we got Terminator Dark Fate, a movie targeted towards a lot of girl power. And once again, it takes the same damn concept as the first film. Seriously, how many more Terminator films are we gonna get with that exact concept?
Come with me if you want to live.
Come with me if you want to live.
Get in! You want to live? Come on!
Come with me if you want to live.
Come with me if you want to live.
Come with me if you want to live.
Come with me or you're dead in the next 30 seconds.
The repetition is endless with this franchise. Are there 5 more Terminator films coming out in the near future? Oh, and what's even more worse is that the director from the first and second film, James Cameron himself, actually took back what he said years ago about making a 3rd Terminator film, because I guess you wave enough money at him and he'll say, alright fine, I got another Terminator film up my sleeve. We're just gonna have more Terminator films coming out with no surprises because it's all the same. But it is what it is. And it's quite unfortunate that even after all these Terminator sequels, none of them could give us what we all asked for. None except for the true third Terminator story, and that was Terminator 2 3D Battle Across Time. Sadly, the attraction is no longer available to experience. Most of them have been replaced with a Despicable Me attraction. Ugh. That's even worse than Disney's decision to replace the Hollywood Tower of Terror with Guardians of the Galaxy. And by the looks of it, it doesn't look like we'll ever get it back. So hopefully we can at least experience it at home with a Blu-ray version of Terminator 2, including Battle Across Time, with a set of 3D glasses. And there you go. Also, if they can include a non-3D version, that would be fantastic. Just because not every one of us enjoy watching videos in 3D.
Hasta la vista, baby.
That's it for the video. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to leave a like, as apparently now it doesn't even matter if you hit the notification button. YouTube is full of surprises, isn't it? So yeah, the like button is the only thing YouTube is permitting us to use as a way to send more traffic to that video. Ah, gotta love YouTube. If you're a Patreon supporter, check out the exclusive videos on my Patreon. Go support the channel, which is only $1. Sacrifice that McChicken for extra quality content, my friend. But anyways, I'll see you all in the next video, and remember to have an awesome day.